Erosion is a very serious problem on the Isle of Wight. Cliffs are eroding at rapid speeds. 1.5 meters of land is lost every year. Local trades by the coast are struggling to stay in business. In this documentary, we'll be finding out what erosion is, what is being done about erosion, and how it affects people. I will also be finding out what defences are in place to try and slow down the speed of erosion. I'll be talking to a geologist, a local businessman, and the head of tourism on the Isle of Wight.
I'm Trevor Price and I'm the Community Learning Officer at Dinosaur Isle Museum in Sandown. Erosion is the mechanical abrasion of material and transport away to another site. Generally speaking, it's by wind and water and natural processes, but it can also be by humans as well. The Isle of Wight is made of soft sedimentary rocks like chalk, muds, sandstones and clays, and its aspect facing into the sea also means that it receives long fetch waves from the Atlantic which pound into it.
We now know what erosion is and why the island is so vulnerable to it. So, what is used to help protect the coastlines?
There would be what we call soft engineering and hard engineering schemes. Soft engineering schemes are those that use natural products like sandbanks, gravel. Those have got a determined lifetime. You can have a hard engineering scheme, and that involves concrete seawalls. And then you can have a mixed soft and hard engineering scheme where you may put a combination of a concrete wall in with a softer wall in front of it and softer gravel. We put staggered defences in with stepped stone walls and curving features. We also put in place groins. Now these can be concrete, they can be brick or wood, and essentially they stop the longshore drift from taking the sand away.
Over the last 25 years, various different members of the council have had a huge programme of doing all sorts of sea defences right the way along the southern coast of the island. And specifically about 20 years ago, they put some large rocks right down the bottom of the sea wall here at the Spyglass, and that's really the main bit that protects us. We actually paid the council at the time to bolster our own sea defences, as well as the council putting their sea defences down as well. We worked together on it, but they were doing it anyway, and we just added to it with our own money.
So they are some of the different defences that are used to help protect the island. But do they actually have an impact and help keep businesses such as the Spyglass Inn safe?
It definitely helps keep it safe. Previously, when we used to get very heavy weather here, especially if it came in from the easterly direction, the waves would thump quite dramatically on the sea wall here, and you can actually feel the whole building shaking. Whereas now, the rock structures that have been put down there and placed in the right way, they actually break up the wave action, and therefore the actual impact on the sea defence on the wall here is greatly reduced. So I think it has made a dramatic difference, yeah. Erosion is exactly as it is. It's reducing the size of the land. There's obvious problems with that recently along by St Lawrence, where we've had a massive landfall and therefore closed down a section of road, caused loads of damage to property, reduction in value of property. So the more that we can all do protect against coastal erosion is going to benefit both businesses such as ourselves, but the whole community.
If a visitor comes here from Birmingham and a path that they used to walk on the Isle of Wight when they were younger is now closed off, they tend to sort of start to worry, you know, is the island falling into disrepair, is it in decay?
It's clear that erosion has a negative impact on businesses and the Isle of Wight in general. But are there any positives caused by erosion?
Erosion's a good thing for the Isle of Wight. If we didn't have erosion, we wouldn't have any beaches. The erosion of the soft sand cliffs provides the sand for places like Sandown Bay and Ryde Sands. If we didn't have erosion, we would have no sandy beach, and that would mean that the waves would be able to impact onto the cliffs a lot more violently, and of course with no beaches means no holiday makers. So erosion in the right place is the right thing to do, and along the shoreline of the southern coast of England there are a lot of schemes to remove coastal defences in order to allow that erosion to take place, in order to provide the sand that's necessary to protect coastlines.
On the positive side, that the geological landscape is sort of ever changing on the coast, and that it reveals dinosaur fossils and interesting habitats for people to look at. It makes for an interesting attraction for the Isle of Wight. The footpaths themselves are constantly changing and being rerouted to make way for other landfalls, and this creates a sort of quite a dramatic atmosphere on the island.
And on average, the areas of coastline that do erode away can be 1 metre a year. And out in the particular areas that we collect from on the southwest coast and at Yaverland, the erosion rates can be quite high, not just in the cliffs, but also in the foreshore. And those can expose some quite large, stunning fossil remains. Not just the fossil remains, but can also expose the geology so that we can see what the environment looked like in the past.
So after all of the information that has been gathered through this journey, we have found out that there are quite a few positive and negative points to be made about erosion, but all around the island, the cliffs and coasts will continue to erode. And as we have seen, it is because of this process, which is why we have the completely stunning beauty of our coastline. But if somehow we were to completely stop these forces of nature, the stunning view of our island that we have come to live with would be forever diminished. Although we don't plan on stopping erosion as a whole, there are methods of defence initiated in certain places of the island that need defending, such as a housing community by the beach, or a nature reserve that helps protect the wildlife, or maybe even a small community. And so they are protected against erosion by these various defences. But in the end, are these defences enough to battle erosion? Or should more efficient, more extreme methods be used?